Welcome to the Currently Cringing podcast. I'm your host, Anisha Ramakrishna. I'm a TV personality and entrepreneur. Join me as I spill the chai on my cringeworthy life experiences with a side of dating, pop culture, and lots of laughs. Hey guys, welcome to Currently Cringing. We're coming off a big weekend, Barbie and Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer. What's up, Ditz?
It was quite something. I have some thoughts, and I'm sure you do as well. Um, I'm going to say that I didn't really want to go to the movies to see these, but I felt like obligated that I had to.
So I had no interest in watching Barbie, and I went for pop culture, so we didn't have FOMO. And being geriatric millennials, my husband was like, "Do you want to go for a 7 p.m. show?" And I had anxiety. I was like, "No, I think I'm going to pass out by 9 p.m." And so we watched Barbie at 9 a.m. on Saturday and Oppenheimer at 9 a.m. on Sunday. But I will say, I went to go see Barbie having no expectations. I thought it was going to be a cheesy waste of my time. I was blown away. That movie was incredible.
I thought it was really funny, and that's something that's been missing in Hollywood for about a decade now. Is like good, funny movies in theaters. Like we grew up like the Apatow era, like Super Bad, Bean Girls. We saw all that stuff in theaters, and it was nice to see a movie that was like truly like hilarious in theaters. And like Ryan Gosling, obviously very sexy, but he was just so funny. Like he stole the show, I thought.
He stole the show. It was smart, it was witty, it was sharp, and it was relatable. And I'm seeing a few people trolling the Barbie movie, like, "Oh, just what we need, giving blondes more confidence." Like, stop making it about being blonde. It wasn't about that, wasn't the message. And if that's what you got from it, then stop being so woke. Like, it's like there's a wokeness level. Like, we don't need to be that woke. Stop taking things to another level. Sometimes you just accept things at face value, like fucking Barbie. It's a fucking doll. Accept it.
It was fun. I made the choice to see Barbie on a Thursday night because that felt like a good like early Thursday into the weekend movie. And then I couldn't get like I got a solo ticket for that. And Oppenheimer, even solo tickets were very hard to get. And I wanted to see an IMAX because like that's the experience that everyone said to do. And I got a 10:30 p.m. on a Sunday night ticket.
And so you watched Barbie on Thursdays solo, which I love. And the reason this episode is called Solo in a Pink Polo is because you're adorable and I wore pink. My husband Anand wore pink. And then you went solo in a pink polo. I love that.
Well, I literally like could have gone with a female friend, but it was actually very difficult to get tickets together that were like halfway decent. Like, yes, if you had planned ahead, then it works. But I didn't know about Barbenheimer until like 3 days before, and so I was looking and I couldn't find anything that was a reasonable time and good seats. So I just for both the movies, I got a ticket for myself just to get it out of the way because like I'm traveling the next couple of weeks, so it's gonna be hard for me to see these movies, and I wanted to get it done the first weekend, with everyone else.
What was your take on Barbie?
I thought it was really funny. I thought it was like obviously a very like good feminist movement movie, and there was also like some undertones of like with the Ken situation because you see that could be we could talk about that later our man lash movement.
Yeah, we'll get into it briefly right now, but we have an episode coming up called Man Lash. But basically, I do think women are equally at fault as men with regard to today's dating landscape, dating environment, dating situation as to why no one can find anyone because women hate men and men hate women.
I don't even think men hate women. I think there's men are scared by women now. Actually,
I do see a lot of bashing of women, though. A lot
Oh,
of
really?
men are tired of women. And because you know what it is? Women come in nowadays, most women, because of social media. That's my opinion, with what I call the seven M's. You come in, you don't look in the mirror, you don't see what you bring to the table. And this is a rare moment where I'll be bashing women, but
Wow.
women, a lot of women come in and we want the seven M's: a mansion, a millionaire, a Maserati, and I could keep going. There's like, it's the seven M's. You can Google it. Like, you want to come into the picture with all these, you know, requirements when what do you actually bring to the table?
Right. That I agree. So it's kind of like you see the Instagram memes, and it's like, I want a guy who's 6'2", muscular, skinny, makes 250K, good personality, whatever, all that stuff, and it's like the person looks like a toad.
But, so that's what we'll touch on. I thought that was great because I do think men and women now need to start from ground zero and we need to work together versus hating on each other. Otherwise, we're just not going to get anywhere in this world. And I think we're at a time now in America where people aren't dating, people are single, people aren't getting married because men and women hate each other for the most part. And I'm not even talking about, the LGBTQ community. That's a whole other thing, where they're facing hate and murder every day. I'm just talking about right now, men and women generally in today's landscape hate each other. But we'll get into that in another podcast. What I want to get into now is you went to the movies solo in a pink polo and you met someone and you boned them.
Wow. Wow, you just went through all of it. Yeah, so I wanted to wear the color, so I have a nice little pink polo that I was wearing. And I went early and went to the drinks, the concessions, and I just like had a conversation with someone, like a group of girls, and they're like, "Oh, who you here with?" I was like, "Honestly, I just bought a last minute ticket. Just want to see what this movie's all about." And like, they thought it was really cool. And then one of them was like, "Oh, like we should go out sometime." Gave me her number, and so
Like she made the move.
she made the move. And she had just come out of the Barbie movie, and I was going into the Barbie movie. So like the bar at Regal Cinemas Union Square may be a good place to meet someone, as opposed to, our friend who that night went to the Spaniard, NKP.
We
You're
had our
getting,
friend Neil. I feel like he's got Peter Pan syndrome, and that's okay because we've all been there. We've all been these immigrant kids that weren't allowed to do anything when we were growing up, or we weren't fully glowed up. And so we didn't really get a lot of action. And now we're just making up for lost time. So I'm giving him a hall pass because we've all been there.
right.
But the
Okay.
West Village has changed. The
Right.
Spaniard is now a bunch of 20 somethings, and that's where we were arguing.
No, no,
So,
no. They're not 20 somethings. They're 22 to 25. It's like, it's one thing if it was 29-year-olds, which it was. It's like now it's like right out of college kids and then a bunch of like weird 38-year-olds who keep going out there. And it's like, I'd rather stay home. And I do. Or I'd rather go to the movies. And my choice on this Thursday was to go to the movies. And I met a girl, and then we met up over the weekend and we hooked up.
so pre-pandemic, Soho, the West Village, these were all like geriatric millennial stomping grounds. Post-pandemic, I want to say this is now like TikTok central. Like TikTokers are hanging out there. It's just not the vibe anymore. I don't care what anyone says.
I agree. Well, TikTokers like it because they're young. TikTok is for the younger crowd. And obviously, you're in that space, so you should be on TikTok. But like for me, I'm not. And there's other areas that are more interesting to me. It's like there's only really four bars that everyone goes to, anyways. I think we're too old to stand in lines.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
waiting in any line.
like if the line is anything but an ID check, I'm not doing it. Like that's literally it.
And now Oppenheimer. I don't know about you. fantastic movie, obsessed with Cillian Murphy. But why isn't anyone talking about how Oppenheimer was like boning everyone's wife?
He only boned the one, like the friend, his like childhood friend or whatever. I feel like I might have fallen asleep halfway through. He was boning that. Oh, that's right. The one he ends up marrying. That's right. Yeah, yeah. There was like his friend that he was boning, and then there was his
Yeah,
the dude.
then he was boning like someone's wife. But it's like, okay, you were able to
Yeah.
build bombs and like bone people's wives.
He's doing a lot more than most of us are doing. So maybe people just had a higher sex drive then, or I don't know. Maybe
Well, I guess there's
uh,
nothing to do in what is it? Los Alamos.
we send each other all the memes because we were in this fitness group chat, which is definitely eating disorder chat, that Cillian Murphy ate one almond per day, which I was like, oh, that's Anisha's diet as well.
That's my diet because I'm plant-based. So I'm eating plants and it feels like I'm eating an almond a day. Obviously, I'm not, but it feels like I am because this is someone me. I used to eat like kebabs for lunch and now I'm eating like lettuce and
I could never. I'm all about the beat life. But anyways, I will say, so my view on Oppenheimer is I don't think I will ever see it again. And it's nothing against that movie. It's just a very heavy subject matter. I'm part of the ADD generation. I can't sit for 3 hours in a movie. Like, but that's why I saw it in theaters, because it was an in theater experience. I think if you're gonna choose between the two to watch, Oppenheimer, because you need to see it in theaters. Like the movie was made for theaters. It was made for IMAX. Barbie wasn't necessarily made for theaters. It just was great. And I think Barbie, I'm sure I'll see many times, like on the airplane, on Netflix, or wherever. But I don't think when Oppenheimer comes to on-demand streaming, like I'm really interested in seeing that. And it was a good movie. It's going to win all the awards, and I loved it.
yeah, I thought it was a great movie, but in the last hour, I myself was like, can they pick up the pace?
Exactly. Oh my God, I had the same thought. I thought the first hour the pacing was solid, and then when they did the what was the big test in the desert, that was really good. Like that was tense. In the
Like you
last
were
hour,
anxious and you were excited, but then the last hour, like with the lawsuit and then like going
yeah,
back
I
to
got
black and
bored in the
white,
last hour.
it was a
Yeah,
little
and,
annoying.
and maybe it's because it was 1 in the morning by that point. And I was just like, I'm just sitting there, like like rationing the remainder of my Buncher Crunch.
Definitely. I don't know. Well, that's our review, guys. Thanks for
Yeah,
listening.
it was fun. I didn't dress up for Oppenheimer. I didn't know what to wear.
I didn't either. No one's dating anyone at Oppenheimer. I don't know what you're doing at Oppenheimer. I think you're just like trying to get through it,
Survive.
survive. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for sipping the chai with me this week. If you like the show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram at Anish Ramakrishna. I would love to hear from you. Join me next week for more chai.